Allstate Arena. Referee steps to the dot, puck goes down, Jokin pulls it back, and we're underway here in Rosemont. Wolves onto the puck after Moose turnover neutralized, but they'll get it right back, and here comes Jokin. Jokin charging the outside, goes right to the goal, puts it off the post, and the rebound gathered up by the netminder in Quap as Danny Jokin that close to opening the scoring just 14 seconds in. Jokin, as he drove around his man, thought for a moment that might have gone off the bottom of the net, off the back of the net, but just managed to stay out. And hit the inside of the post and then came right back under the pads of Quap, and he was able to hold on. So Moose with a good early chance from Danny Jokin. We're just 20 seconds into this contest. Wolves win the draw here at center ice. They'll chip it down into Moose territory. Hainala chased down into the corner. Brindamore right after him. The Wolves gain possession of the puck. Comes up the near side for Fensori. Puck rolls over his stick though, and now DiGiuseppe charging down the ice. He'll move it up the near side. Nice play by Ronan Seeley to boot it forward to himself and flip it down into Manitoba end. There's Salomonsson up the far side, but meanwhile the gloves will drop. The better of his tilt. But now the Wolves coming up with the puck in the offensive zone. Here's Josiah Slavin looking back to the line. It'll get to Fensori, a shot. Save made by Milic, a big rebound. Here's Fogum off the Moose face-off win. Out to neutral ice, DiGiuseppe. Turned back, and Salomonsson will gather up a rolling puck. Dishes it across for Hainala, who's got to quickly move it. Nice sequence through the Moose zone, and Salomonsson carries forward. Puts it out wide. DiGiuseppe is shot in on Quap. He'll stick that one away. And Fogamo to it, gives it to Jokin. He'll step back, let one go, and they score! Phil DiGiuseppe on the redirect in front, and the Moose have a 1-0 lead. But DiGiuseppe was right in front of Quap, and he just managed to get a piece of that one, just kind of chunked it off the shaft of the stick and down past the netminder. And it was this line that had the opening couple of chances, and now they find an early goal for the Moose. Set and snag that puck. Offensive zone face-off win for Chicago as they try to keep the pressure rising here. Puck against the end wall. 6 bodies in to try and dig that loose. Comes free, Hainala falls on the puck. Wolves will come out with it now, but Salomonsson does well to muscle his man off the puck. And the Moose to it, and struck ahead for Fogamo. Fogamo tips it into the offensive zone. Fensori leaves it in behind for Himosalami. Moose regain control. Down low, it's Jokin trying to center, but it's off of a body. Bounces to Felix Ungersorum, and he will start ahead. Ungersorum shoulder on it. This is defended very well by the last Wolf back. Managed to get a stick on that shot. Anderson Dolan just trying to muscle that one over the shoulder of Quap, who was sliding across. And he made the save, but a good look for Manitoba, who will now come offside. Let's get a couple of touches on to push it back, but charging forward was Vierling, and he'll play it down into Moose territory. And behind the net, he worked out wide for Vierling, puts it up top. Bayreuth, right side. There's a long shot that's knocked down. Spinning, firing, scoring is Nikita Pavlichev. So the Wolves did well. I mean, they lost the face-off at neutral ice, but pushed forward. It was Vierling to get it ahead, get into the zone, just work it around quickly, and then they get a friendly bounce off the skate. Moose didn't know quite which direction to turn. Pavlichev found it first. The Wolves kind of miscommunicated there, and he'll win the puck. Puts it around for Salomonsson. At the right point, Elias Salomonsson. Little stutter step, moves it to the left side. Barlow on the shot, the save made. Set things up nicely for the Moose for an offensive zone shift. Off the draw in the Chicago zone, the Wolves will push it down into Moose territory where Hainala takes over. Long pass ahead. Knocked down in neutral ice, and now Slavin jetting into the zone. Slavin stops up, tries to cut back against Salomonsson, but Hainala's there in support. Whacks the puck away, but he's knocked to the ice. Comes up top, Fensori. Right point, he's got Himosalami. Himosalami down the wall. Plays it in behind the net. Fensori off the line. He'll send it back around, but Salomonsson waiting for it. And we'll just lift this out to center ice. Turned right back in by the Wolves, but flipped ahead to Wagner with the Moose changing. So it's going to take a little while, but both teams will get through a full swap. Much to the displeasure of the crowd. Pass ahead, gets down into the Chicago zone. Quap plays it behind the net, intercepted, but Yoder couldn't get it back out in front. Salomonsson holds the puck along the wall, puts it in behind the net. Bayreuther is there, moves it for Badinka. Dominic Badinka had his stick lifted by Barlow, but the puck carries through and will be flipped down into Moose territory. Salomonsson glides onto it. He's immediately cut off. The board work begins as Barlow comes up for a moment. Elias Salomonsson back down to 2. There's Dominic Fensori at center ice getting things going once more. We'll flip it down into the corner. Fagemo steps away from a check, hits Heinola with some open ice, and Billy Heinola will dodge forward. Makes a nice move into the zone. Heinola snaps a shot to the goal off the stick of Quap into the corner. Moose retrieve, comes up top. Salomonsson puts it behind the goal for DiGiuseppe. He'll settle it down on his backhand, spins back onto his forehand, cuts back behind the net. No, he'll turn around, head back into the corner, and look to the top of the zone. Moves it for Heinola to the front of the net. Looking for a deflection. It got through to Quap, who made the pad save, and the rebound cleared out to center. Jokin spinning around at his own blue line. Comes up to center. We'll flip this into the Wolves' end. DiGiuseppe striding his village. Wolves come up with the puck off the draw. Trikozov needs to go track down that puck, plays it in behind the net. Comes around for Gunler. Gunler trying to move it to the middle of the ice. 2 Moose send it right back at him. Gunler looking back to the line, intercepted by Wagner. He'll try to move forward with it, but turned over the puck, and it stays in the zone. Brindamore down to the goal, pass out in front, and Anderson Dolan is right there to take it away, but then fires his clearing attempt right into a Chicago player. Seeley resets. Gunler across the ice. Trikozov slaps it to the front of the net, a couple of jabs, and Milic is there with the pads, and this time Anderson Dolan able to get it down the penalty. 2:25 left in the first period. It's 1-1. Robidas moves it off for Suzuki. Ryan Suzuki into the zone, moves it across the ice. Unger Sorum spinning pass, maybe a little bit dangerous, but DiGiuseppe couldn't quite get out there to intercept. Comes down into the corner. 5 seconds left in the penalty. A long drive. Milic the save, and face-off won by the Wolves. Out of the box is Dewar. Montgomery able to fend off Dewar as he came scrambling after him. Puck rolled to the net, skittered and bounced off Milic into the corner. Puck over to the far wall. Biondi rolls it back for Pavlichev. He's pinned to the boards by Yoder. Salomonsson looking to clear, and Will off of a glove. Puck bounces. Dewar trying to turn it up ice. Couldn't do so. And he'll head to the bench as the Moose get in a changer. And Brindamore will win it. Wolves cleared out to center. And all the way back into the Moose end. Heinola right on his back. As Robidas right after him. Salomonsson is there to help out. We'll play it up the far side. Chip to the line, not quite out. Second effort does get out for the Moose with a few seconds left in the period. Puck bounces in. Robidas settles it deep into his zone. And we'll break from the scoreboard there to head down to ice level. And we drop the puck and get things going again in the second period here in Rosemont. The Moose attacking right to left across your broadcast view. Going to work in the offensive zone to start things out. Salomonsson on the wall. All tied up, moves it along for Jokin, who will battle his way out in front of the net. Wanted to wrap it around, but was deflected and then ends up back on his stick. Here's a shot from Fagemo. It pops into the air, hits off the post, and stays out. As Samuel Fagemo got loose for a moment in that shot that resulted in over 40 goals a few seasons ago. Overpowered Nikita Quap. Fluttered up into the air and then just landed and doinked off the post. So for the second straight period, the Moose come oh so close in the opening moments. And now the Moose will dump it in. Quap went out to laid a pretty good hit on Phillips, but before that, the hook to set that up, and the Moose to the power play. She's had its ups and downs in the early going, has scored on 2 of its 16 chances thus far. But has surrendered 3 shorthanded goals and nearly gave up another one. The only reason was Jokin, Fagemo, Salomonsson, and DiGiuseppe. Let's get the puck into the zone. And looking to come up with it here, and Jokin will roam over to pick it up, but plenty of pressure from the Chicago penalty killers, and they will get the puck down the ice. Looked like the Moose were going to win that puck, but Chicago, just as soon as that back was turned, A couple of penalty killers right out to address whoever had it. A couple of Moose roam through, but now turnovers, they'll hit the line, and Pavlichev turns it back. And here comes Robidoux trying to skate in, but he's tied up. And the Moose are nearly a minute into this power play without having possession in the offensive zone, being able to set up. And now here's an interference at the line by DiGiuseppe. Seconds before Chicago heads to the power play. Wolves will win the draw. It started out for Robidoux. They'll leave it back in his own zone. Bayreuther slides it ahead for Seeley. Ronan Seeley trying to guide the puck forward, but couldn't get through the Moose and elects to peel back as the Wolves head to the power play now. So 5-on-4 for Chicago here in this 1-1 game. There's Robidoux sending it around the wall. That'll swing on. Anderson Dolan gets to the puck first. Rolls it back for Salomonsson. He fans on his clearing attempt. A couple of players spill down to the ice in the corner, and that ends up with the puck that was heading there finding its way to Phillips, and he's able to slap it down the ice. Third try, and this time it'll spring Braden Yager. He's in on the right side. He's got room to move in for a shot, and it's off the stick of Quap and sails into the glass. And now the puck bouncing to the front of the goal. Wagner robbed twice by Nikita Quap. Anderson Dolan got a touch on it. Yager a couple of tries, it stays out. Moose scrambling in the offensive zone now. Pass over to the near side. Anderson Dolan had it hop over his stick, but Heinola was right there, and he'll gather it up, though his stick is checked, and it pops out to neutral ice. Anderson Dolan quickly back into the zone for Heinola, who leads the Moose back in. Empey, as the Moose change in behind him, will go in behind the goal. He's bashed off the puck. Following up is Yoder, though, and he controls. Yoder sends it back to the line, or at least wanted to, but a good stick will break that up. And the Wolves possess with 7 minutes gone in the second period, and now leading this game 2-1. There's Yoder leading into the zone for Empey, to the circle with the shot, and he hits the post. 3 in the game for the Moose. There's Heinola driving forward. He'll blast one. Save made. Comes off the wall. And the Moose have this game tied up 2-2 with 11:15 to go in the period. That was a big one for the Moose. Had to be wondering what they had to do to score a goal. Here they come again. Fogamo moving it for Zhilkin. Danny Zhilkin pinned to the wall. 3 Wolves into the mix, 2 Moose. DiGiuseppe, the late man in. Got a stick on the puck, but he'll squirt past him. And Ungersorm will flip it out to center. Chopped ahead, Zhilkin. Spins it right back in, and that line's had some good chances. The top 2 lines for the Moose have been buzzing here tonight. And now finally they're going in for him. So another lead change in this game as the Moose back out in front, 9:14 to go in the second period. They're hitting a bunch of posts, having some good chances stymied by Quap. And now able to get back out in front, but obviously a lot of work to be done here with still 29 minutes left on the clock in this one. Puck fired down into Moose territory. It'll be Salomonsson behind the net. Rolls it up the glass. Anderson Dolan taken to the boards, but Heinola is there in support. And he'll wheel around before looking up ice. He had Fabian Wagner racing down the middle, looking to break away, but just couldn't quite feather it through to him. Heinola back in his own zone once more. On for Anderson Dolan. Great chance earlier on in this second period. Turned away by Quap. We'll get it down to the shoes. That was last night. +2 here so far this evening. Moose will win the face-off in their own zone and roll it down the ice. Gustafsson battling with Brindamore. They go crashing into the corner. Eventually, Gustafsson worked down to the ice. Dewar pushes it out, and Salomonsson will fire back behind the net. Walker Dewar, be feeling it a little bit more here after burying 2 in the period. Working it loose. Shaw scrambling towards the puck along with Gustafsson, and they'll get it. Shaw looking back to the line. He's got Salomonsson for a drive. That's off a boot in behind the net. It'll be Shaw controlling there for the Moose. Trying to center into the circle, but that's knocked away and then stretched ahead for Suzuki. He'll skate onto it. Suzuki right to the goal. Shut down by Thomas Milic. And get to the front of the net. That's just good defense feeding offense. As the Wolves want to battle for the puck, just flipped it out of the zone, and Suzuki was flying down the ice. Got there just ahead of Dewar. The other way is Barlow. He'll skate onto it down low. Seeley does well to cut him off. And Montgomery scoops up the puck, looks up the far side, and that will bounce by a couple of Moose, couple of Wolves, and get out to center. Immediately flipped back in by Manitoba. Seeley onto it, swings it out wide. Montgomery launches a pass ahead for Vierling, and now to Unger Sorum. Felix Unger Sorum striding down into the corner, tries to get around Heinola. Leaves it off for Pavlichev. Pavlichev back to the line. Seeley rolls it right back down low. Unger Sorum trying to sweep this out in front. That's blocked by Heinola, and he'll flip it up to Yoder, who then centers for Salomonsson, who will stride up ice. Comes up over center, will play that down. 2 assists in the frame. Spins off a check. Who's changing? Gustafsson looked up, looking for a man to get the puck to. There was nobody there with that change ongoing. Held on to it for a little bit, but eventually the Wolves able to work it out to center with 80 seconds left in the period. Fargamo able to deflect it into the zone, but quickly returned out by Chicago before Gustafsson played it back into the offensive end for Manitoba and heads off on a change. Very close to too many men on the ice for the Wolves, but they'll play on as Unger Sorum is into the zone. He's checked off the puck. It comes to the line. Not taken out there by the Moose, but it'll come to Heinola, and now he'll spring it on for DiGiuseppe. DiGiuseppe sets it in for Jokin. Strides right up the middle of the ice. Veers off to the left. Nice moves. Cutting back to the middle. He's dragged down, but play continues. It'll come back to the line. DiGiuseppe tries a shot, and it'll be off. Pack it up and take it with them on this road trip. 2 points against the Wolves, and they have the 3-2 edge, and they've got the puck to start things out, and they'll send it down into the offensive zone, attacking left to right across your broadcast view. And it'll be also picking up one in the second game of the season. A scrambly face-off, eventually played to the line and past Salomonsson, but Heinola is there to chop it back to center. Seeley follows up and gets the Wolves into the offensive zone, but immediately turns it over to DiGiuseppe, who spins it off the glass back to the Chicago blue line. Now DiGiuseppe able to get onto the puck and squirt it past a defender and wanted to shovel it over for Fargamo on the back. Moose on the face-off in the offensive zone. It'll be Tyson Empey. Sharp angle shot. Rebound bounces out into the slot before it's swatted all the way down the ice for another icing. Moose win the offensive zone draw. Heinola drops it back. Empey tries a shot that's deflected to the wall. Heinola trying to find it. Nice jump by the official to get away from the puck. Heinola spinning down low, trying to get away from Hemo Salami. Couple of Finnish defenders battling over the puck. Heinola gets it free for Salomonsson. His shot looking for a tip, deflected wide by Barlow. Puck in behind the net, loosened up by Fensori. He takes a hard hit from Barlow and can't get the puck out. And now it's over for Yoder. Yoder steps back, gets a shot away, and a save made by Quap as Yoder tried to slip that one 5-hole. Good shift for the Moose fourth line, and now they're right back in. Empey trying to drop it back for Barlow, couldn't get it through things as well. The Moose will win an offensive zone draw, courtesy of Braden Yager. Heinola knocked to the ice. Moose keep it in the offensive zone. There's Yager from the wall. Spins one around with the goal. It'll come to Heinola, but hops over his stick. Anderson Dolan hustling up to the point, and will play it back down in behind the Chicago net. Rolled up the near side. Wolves have possession now and are able to deflect that down into Manitoba territory. Here's Heinola. Puck stuck on him in behind the goal. Anderson Dolan there to support him. Will move it up the far side, but Wolves will gain it back. Though passes off a skate, swatted forward. And now carried by Yager. And he'll play that down and carries down low. Looking out in front. Jokin swings around the goal, cuts back into the corner. Jokin head up, tries to move it into the middle. It bounces around a couple of times here offensively. This line's been good tonight. Gustafsson, Shaw, and Dewar, they're into the offensive zone now. Hemo Salami, though, is on the puck for Chicago. He's able to pound it off the glass out to center. Shaw is on it. Well, just loop it right back in. Gustafsson digging in to try and get after the puck. And sorry, up the wall, intercepted by Shaw. Shaw, but it's out in front. He found Salomonsson, and a good stop by Quap. Just got a shoulder on that try from the Moose defenseman. Manitoba will take it away again. Dewar nearly able to shimmy on through a couple of defenders as he spun his back to them. Taken off his stick, and now the Wolves in transition. A long on it again, though, and then Yoder. Again, this line just inches away from breaking things open as the pass deflected, and now right back the other way is Badinka, and he scores! Dominic Badinka. Badinka just skated the other way. Two Moose defenders were back. Badinka managed to get to the outside on Salomonsson, and yeah, it hit Salomonsson's stick. And I'm still not sure how that went in. Yeah, the Moose gonna have to try and take the lead for the third time here tonight. And so with 11:03 to go in the third period, like the Moose were gonna get a great scoring chance, but pass just doesn't quite connect. And then Dominic Bedinka a race down the ice and gets a friendly bounce for his first goal. And this game tied 3-3 with just over half a period to go. As the Wolves will ice the puck here. Shots on their side. Quap is up 27. Off the face-off, puck straight down into the Chicago zone to start out the penalty kill. Jilkin and Gustafson. Phillips and Salomonsson on the backhand. Puck into the zone for the Wolves. Drop back to the line, and Sorry racing after it, will poke it back. Comes to Salomonsson, slaps it around the wall, and not able to squeeze it by the skate of Salomonsson. Justin Robidaw takes over. Former Norfolk Admiral will work it around, and Fensori to the point, long shot knocked down. Gustafson steps over and is able to clear it down the ice as he was swap up their unit. Moose get some new penalty killers out there. 7:25 to go in the third. It is 3-3 as Bayruthers into the zone. He'll send this down low. Phillips shielding the puck as he rolls it around the boards. Ends up getting pushed back behind it, but Salomonsson is there, and some nice work on the back end to get this all the way down the ice in on Quap, who now has to scramble after the puck that bounced away. The Moose to the offensive zone, trying to break this tie once again. They've held the lead twice in this game. Mason Shaw forced out to neutral ice. Puck finds its way to Billy Hainela. He'll send it ahead for Walker Dewar. Dewar leaving it for Shaw, right back for Dewar into the zone. Sweeps it over for Salomonsson. Was charging towards the net. He had to step back and then puts one off the side of the goal. Shaw is there. Had to roll it out in front, couldn't do so, but will chase it down along with Dewar in behind the net. Shaw back up top. He's got Gustafson for a shot that hit a body in front and went high. Dewar finds it. Down low is Hainela, puts it over to Shaw. Shaw backhand, out in front, loose puck is knocked away from danger and flipped back to the Moose line. Racing back is Hainela as Undersorum cruises up after him. But Hainela will loop around and head up ice. Gets over center, plays it into the Chicago zone, but right onto the stick of Bedinka. Bedinka tries to clear, knocked down by Seeley. Moves it to the far side of the ice. The Moose pressuring here, Shaw chasing it in behind the net. Brings around to the near side and will go all the way down the ice. No icing coming up though as Hainela is back to pick it up. Clock continues to tick as the Moose build momentum late in this game. Gustafson into the zone and will work it down low. Jams the puck around to the near side. Dewar awaits. Plays it back in behind. Shaw giving chase. As this line gets out for another late shift. Biondi over to a Dewar. Stepped up and nearly had him in the trolley tracks. Separated from the puck. The Wolves will play it down into the offensive end. Salomonsson tries to clear. Turns it over. Played to the front of the net. Puck up for grabs and Shaw will grab it. Final minute of play here in regulation. The game tied 3-3. Moose late in the shift here while trying to get a swap done.